All right, hello everybody. This is Melanie here again, and I'm here for today's it's morning. Rushmere Restless Runners. There it is, tongue twister. I'm going to give that to actors for the warm up. Class number 2. This one is going to be HIIT training and or cardio intervals training, if you will. So the goal of this one is that our heart rate is going to be kind of doing this throughout. Because a big part and component of a healthy heart is its ability to recover quickly. So when you do those higher intervals and you bring it back down, you're not like for a long time. All right. So this is how today's workout's going to go. We're going to have about a half hour-ish together. And during that half hour, we're going to have 2 exercise blocks. In those blocks, you're going to have a very lower intensity and or impact option. And then for the second move, it's going to be a higher intensity and or impact option. Now I say and or because I know not everyone likes impact, so I will offer low impact options for all of those moves. Now, since I'm going to be talking and coaching and cueing, I might not be doing the move 100% of the time with you. So you might see me walking to the camera, just kind of coaching, cheering on, giving pointers. So don't use me as your guideline for your level of intensity. The goal, especially in the higher intensity moves, is to challenge yourself. Now, that being said, obviously within knowing your body's limitations, you don't want to get to the point to where you are lightheaded. So listen to your body in regards to that. But the heart rate should be getting up during those and then coming down during the lower intensity phase. You can take breaks as often as you need to get water, to towel off, or just to catch your breath. Know that the first time or even the 5th time you do this, if we get to the higher intensity stuff and you don't hit all 30 seconds of it, that's okay. So I'm going to break up the moves in 30 seconds and 30 seconds. Each block is going to be 3 minutes, which means we're going to do those moves 3 times through. Low, high, low, high, low, high. All right. So I'm going to have to broke it up into 30 and 30 just to kind of get the endurance factor in here today. But that being said, here's how you can progress this. So for this week, if you want, you can do the low intensity for the 30 seconds. When we get to the higher intensity, you can go all 30 seconds, or you can go for maybe about the halfway point. And I will try to cue you when that is, but it's a matter of looking at the camera, looking at the clock. So that being said, you can shorten that part of it and take it back to the lower intensity part before I cue that. All right. The goal then is just as you do this again to try to get more time out of those higher intensity moments. So that endurance in the higher intensity, which is what your running is, if you're running and or speed walking. And that's going to make you able to maintain your heart rate, your lungs, and everything for longer there. So that being said, if you have the playlist, I recommend playing music during this because cardio, as I say, is cardio. I'm going to be doing it in silence here, listening to my own breath. So if you have music, I recommend putting that on. And without further ado, we should probably get started with our warm-up. So we're going to start pretty easy with just a nice high knee march. So you'll notice that I'm just trying to get my knees as high as I can. Not everyone's knees are going to be as high. That's okay. And you can get those arms going. So this is just to get the blood pumping to where we're going to need it. I think pretty much everyone's doing the recording of this, so hello in the recording. This is a weird time of day to do a live. I had to do it today because of my schedule, but I'm realizing this is not the best daylight for these workouts. I had to cover my TV with a towel back here because the reflection of the sun coming in is insane, and it is blinding me right now. But I'm here. I got you. All right. A couple more of those. And we're going to turn them into butt kicks. So you're going to keep the knees down and just bring the heels back towards the butt. So this is going to warm up the hamstring in back and get us ready to go. You can get the arms going again if you want. Whatever feels good. Jamming out to whatever music you got on or just the music in your head. I'm really interesting. I didn't click OK, so keep going. Yes, okay. I know I'm being recorded. I did it. All right, and now we're going to take us to a side tap. So you're going to tap, tap. Now we're just going to do little half jack arms with these. You're going to see this move again later. So I hope you like it. We're going to do a lot of moves today that work in multiple planes of motion. This one is working in the frontal plane. So moves that go out to the side of our body. and lateral movement. That's side to side. I know my heart rate's getting up. My body's not used to working out in the morning. So it's like, whoo, girl. So I'm with you. I'll be breathing with you. I hope it's not picking up too insanely in this microphone. All right, then we're gonna get our feet under our hips or under our shoulders. We're gonna do a squat, calf raise. And it's just a little baby squat. You'll have plenty of time to get deep today. So just an easy squat, calf raise. Now when you squat, make sure you sit back in your heels and then those hips are sitting back and down. A lot of people tend to sit squats into their knees. So back and down. The analogy I give my class often for these is, do you remember back when you were a kid, like people would moon each other? I don't know why that happened in the 90s. Maybe kids still do it. But you would pull it out and bend back. So that's a visual that helps you think about it. If you're like, what are you even talking about, Mel? And you don't have to worry about that. One more. All right, and then from here, you can keep doing squats or go back to squats, or you can take it to a twist. If you've got sciatica, I recommend not doing this twisting motion if you're working on that with your doctor. And you'll notice that my hip, my knee, and my toe are pivoting with me, and engage that core through this process. And then just bring it back to center. All right, so I'm gonna adjust my pants and we're gonna go into block one. So the low impact for block one is just gonna be a low march or a low jog, but you'll notice it's really low. I'm not really getting my knees up very much. Low march or low jog. And the high impact move is going to be alternating lunges. So it's gonna be a step back and a step back. All right, so those are the two moves that I'm previewing for you. We're gonna get into it. Get ready. We're gonna go in about 13 seconds because I want to have this clock be kind of on the minute or on the 30-second mark. All right, get ready. We're gonna go in 4, 3, 2, low jog. So we're in the first of our 3-minute blocks. Now for this lower impact march or jog, it should be very maintainable. So if you start going really fast and you feel like your heart rate's getting up too quickly, slow it down because you want to be able to really maintain this, have a conversation during this like I am with you. All right, we're going to go into those alternating lunges in 4, 3, 2, and 1. So it's just one leg back at a time. Speed here varies. I really want you to focus on balance and control. And as you step back, you're making sure to keep that chest lifted halfway through, and that back knee is dropping down towards the floor. All right? Keep breathing. We're going back in 4, 3, 2, and low jog. All right. So 1 minute is done already. Woohoo! So take some deep breaths during these lower impact parts. This is where you catch your breath, where you get that heart rate back down. And again, you can slow the pace down more if you need that for the breath catching. Whatever feels good. All right, we're almost back to the lunges. 4, 3, 2, lunges. Now, in these step back lunges, you want to keep that chest lifted again. Keep that entire front foot down on the ground. And you bend into that back knee and drop it. So you can get really low here if you want. And you can even put your hands on your thighs halfway if you want some stability. All right, many options. 3, 2, and low run. Notice I took a big deep breath when I started that. So our first block is kind of all the way impact because we're still warming up. We're getting that body moving. So I didn't put any jumps in. All right, almost back to our final set of low lunges. The lunges, alternating lunges. 3, 2, and begin. Now, as you do these, make sure that the knee is not coming across the body. So keep that knee open as you do these lunges. And when you step back, it's like you're in a set of train tracks versus on a tightrope. So you want to be able to still have both feet hip distance apart. All right? You got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Move around a little. Just walk around, take a couple deep breaths. It's okay when you're done with the intense version. You can do this if you want and be like, whoo, you know, so whatever you need to do. All right, block 1 is done. Block 2. Our first foray into lateral movement. So the low impact is a double hopscotch. So it's just going to be a double bounce, double bounce. All right, kind of like a Snoopy dance, if you will. And you can like get that foot up more if you want. Our high intensity move is skaters. The low impact is you get low, step wide, and that foot's going to cross behind. If you want high impact, jump. All right, we're going to go into the first in 5, 4, 3, 2, double hopscotch. And you can do whatever you want with the arms here. I'm kind of mimicking a jump rope, but you can do the Snoopy dance if you want. Or I guess this is kind of like, what was that move that was called like the pony? I think it's kind of like that. Double hopscotch. And again, you can let that foot be up in the air if you want. All right, get to one side of your room. 3, 2, skaters. So either jump or stay low. Now, if you're worried about your ankles rolling, I want you to just take big, wide steps and stay low. When you're doing the jump version, halfway, make sure you're landing fully in that foot and pushing off through the entirety of the bottom of that foot, all right? You can make these jumps as big or as far side to side as you want, and double hopscotch. Take a deep breath. Just jumping, bring that heart rate down. But these little low impact versions are working our feet, our shins, our calves, everything we need for walking and running. So it's endurance for them as well. All right, we got 5 seconds. So get over to one side of your room so you got room, and skate. Now I'm going kind of fast this time. You can absolutely like load and explode. All right. Halfway. 5 seconds. And double jump. Woo. How are you feeling? You can thumbs up the recording, it's fine. 10 seconds left here, and we go into our final. I'm going to start them on this side of the room this time. You can start on whichever side you want. All right. You ready? Skate. Woo. If you're ever doing these and you really want to work on the outer thighs, put that exercise band around those shins and boy howdy, halfway. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 5 seconds. And move around. Get that sip of water if you need. Whew. We're gonna go to block 3. I told you that tap jack was coming back. So that's our low intensity. Is a tap jack, small. Arms coming halfway up. For the higher intensity, If you want to stay low impact, you take your small tap to a big tap, arms all the way up. If you want to go higher intensity, of course, full jumping jacks are the way to go. You got about 20 seconds, and we're going to start block 3. Deep breaths. 15 more seconds. I don't recommend to get the heart rate down, to continue moving just a little bit versus just standing still. Let it come down in a slow pace. All right, 3, 2, side tap, half jacks. Now, if the shoulders start to burn too much during this section because there's a lot of up and down, you can let them do this for a minute. That's fine. You can also just kind of hold them at your heart. Whatever feels good to you, but try to get those arms going up and down as best you can, as long as you don't have any shoulder injuries. I'll tell you not to. All right, we got about 5 seconds. 3, 2, jacks. So you're either doing full jacks or bigger side to side taps. So a lot of intensity of the exercise doesn't necessarily come from whether I'm jumping or not. It comes from how large of a range I'm taking my body in from a movement standpoint. So that's an example for this one. You got 5 seconds. 3, 2, small half. All right, 1 minute done. Hang in there, shoulders. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to increase the intensity and variety in your workout routine to train yourself. You hear FIT, F-I-T-T, frequency, intensity, time, and type. Those are 4 variables that can be played with to change up your routine, all right? You're ready. Bring it up. So one way to increase your endurance, frequency, exercise more often. Intensity, play with intensity like we are today. Time, you're at the halfway point. Increase the amount of time you're spending exercising, of course, to a point, because no one wants to work out for like hours upon hours every day. Type, change the type of your workout. Woo! All right, and bring it down. Final minute. So think about that next time you're like, I need to up my level of intensity. The body is meant to get stronger through stress, to a point. Recovery is important, because if you don't add recovery to your stress, that's when things like injury and illness happen. So always make sure you have that recovery. All right, 5 seconds and we'll go back to jacks. Woo! And jacks. Remember, you can be right here. If you don't want to jump with both feet, just make the arms bigger, the legs bigger. All right. We got about halfway. If you're doing those halfway bring downs, there you go. Bring downs to not the best phrase. When you work out, your blood goes more into your muscles, so it's not in my vital organs like my brain as much anymore. 3, 2, and 1. Again, try to move around. Try not to just stand still. Definitely, I don't recommend sitting down unless you absolutely need to because you feel lightheaded or anything. But if you feel fine and then you sit down and you stand up, then you might get lightheaded. So it's better just try to stay on your feet and walk around. Same with your runs. Give yourself that cool down time. That's why I built it into every day. All right. Next block. This one's probably the hardest one of all of them. So I'm going to give you options. We have hop foot, so you bring up those box, you go forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. For the high intensity, you're doing a walkout. So the feet are going to be wide. You're going to bring it down, walk it out to a plank, walk it back to a squat, and stand it up. If you don't want to do the walkouts, you're just going to do that squat calf raise that we did in the warm-up. Ready? Hop foot. Get go. Choking on my own saliva. So the thing here is it's a forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. Like you got a little 4 square box. Whichever foot you're leading with this time, lead with the opposite one when we get back to this. We have 10 seconds left. I'm going to back up for the walkouts. 3, 2, and walk it out. Feet come wide. We walk it out to plank. Walk it back. Stand up. And again, you can do just squat, calf raise. If doing this walkout is not your idea of a good time, you can also just do like one of them and then come back, do a couple squats, do another. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and half foot. So other foot, lead it. Keep going. I'm gonna come up close to the camera, cheer you on, get really bleached out here by the sun because that's how bright it is in here. So good job. I'm wearing my gig day shirt. I'm gonna turn sideways for these walkouts so you can see what my body's doing. We got 5 seconds. 3, 2, and walk out. So feet come wide. I bring it down. Hands look up, plank. Everything is nice and engaged. Heels come all the way back down before I stand up. So heels down. Heels come up as you walk out. Squeeze the glutes. Heels are back down before you stand up. Otherwise, squat, raise. All right. 8 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, and hop foot. Forward, forward, back, back. Forward, forward, back, back. Whew. I made block. You kissed him. All right. Switch your lead foot. Whoa, halfway through right now because we only got 3 reps, so you want to make it even. We got 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Walk out. Squat. Walk it out. Squeeze the glutes when you're out in that plank. Squat and stand. This is another example of a move that is not high impact, but uses your whole body and is still going to kick that heart rate up to the skies. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I threw an extra squat to boot. All right. Get some water. Woo! Only 2 more blocks left. You're doing amazing. All right, block 5. We're taking out of some kickboxing. So for the low impact move, we've got that side tap, but now you're gonna jab front while you're doing that. For the high impact, you're gonna do a side shuffle or a side tap. So if you're doing side tap, it's step together, step, step together, step. If you want to shuffle, there's a little, all right? And I'm doing a cross punch that has that rotation, but if you don't want to rotate, when you do that, you can just go to the front and not bring up that rotation. All right, we're gonna go in about 10 seconds. Deep breath. We got this. 5 seconds. Get those feet out a little wide. 3, hands up, and punch. So you're punching straight forward with the same side as the foot that's tapping out, all right? And I'm turning my entire torso with this, right? So the entire torso is moving. It's not a twist so much as it is a full body rotation. So that's the transverse plane. All right, working everything. All right, 4, move over to one side of the room. 3, 2, and we shuffle to across. Now, if you have a lot of space, you can make your shuffle bigger. If I went to sideways in the room, I could really cover a lot more distance here. So listen to your body. Remember, you can always step together, step, if you don't want to jump, all right? Five-ish seconds left. 3, 2, and lower impact. Just tap, punch, tap, punch. I hope my mic is hanging in there today. Because I can't tell. I don't hear myself in my own ear. So let's get those shoulders again. I hope those shoulders are doing all right. Try to make sure they stay down from the ears. Not shrugging up. 5, 4, 3, 2, side shuffle cross. Or again, you can just take it to the front if you don't want to do that cross. Halfway. I know I haven't said that every time. Sorry. Give them cues. 4, 3, 2, and low impact. Tap and punch right. Almost done with this block. You're almost done with the workout. Woo! Keep that breath flowing. Doing great. When you do this next time, just try to last a little longer or make the moves a little bigger. Challenge that heart rate. 3, 2, shuffle. So I'm adding a little more of a hop in the middle here since I don't have a lot of space to cover side to side. So that's a way to add a little intensity. There's that moment where both feet are off the ground. Woo! For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, final block. You made it, and then we're just gonna do a quick stretch. So for the final block, our low impact is marching high knees. So you saw that in the warm up. We're just gonna march, and those knees are gonna come up. It can be slow, but I want you to focus on those lower abdominals and getting those knees high. The high impact is actually fast feet. So you're gonna be moving them. Here, a little hinge, core is engaged. We'll go back and forth between narrow and wide feet. I made that the final cardio because while it won't get our heart rate up to the heavens as some of the other ones, it's gonna make that lower part of your leg get really trained for endurance. We got 15 seconds and then we're gonna go. Couple more deep breaths, keep moving. We got about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, high knee march. Now, as you're doing this, try to keep that balance. Try to minimize the sway. I know depending on the shape of your body and where the bones connect at the joints, particularly the hips, knees, and ankles, do your best. The goal is to try to stay upright here while you're taking those easy but high knee steps. 4, 3, 2, fast feet. Now, arms can do many things here. You can just hold here, like you're waiting to catch a ball. You can run them, or my favorite, Tina Turner. That just feels good. We got the shoulders today, so this gets the shoulders a little reprieve. Shake them out. Keep those feet working. You're on the balls of the feet. Think about what those big toes are doing. Press through. 5, 4, 3, 2, and march. Start bringing it down. Now, as much as you can during this, also try not to sound like a herd of elephants. All right? So use that core to lift and control, lowering that foot to the ground so that you're not slamming it into the ground. Because that slam is also not good for all those joints. So, gentle. 3, 2, fast feet, but wide. Take it out there. Fast feet is about making it all jiggle. So let it go back there. Work it. Work it. Breathe it in through the nose, out through the mouth. You got 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and march. Refocus on the core. Refocus on lifting the chest. Posture. Control. You can do those running arms if you want, or you can just have your hands on your hips, down your sides, whatever feels good. Hip flexors are probably talking at you. Good. 3, 2, start fast, feet narrow. Again, think about those big toes. Press through those big toes. We tend to roll out on the sides of our feet a lot, so I'm bringing that attention. All right, take a wide. Woo! Can you pick up the pace? This is it. Woo! Work it. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Move around a little for me. Catch your breath. Get some water, recover. I'm going to take you through an easy stretch. Just keep moving, just a little bit. One thing I want, if you have a heart rate monitor and you wear it to sleep, start paying attention to your resting heart rate. All right, so I want you, each week you're doing this, to look at that resting heart rate. Ultimately, as your cardiovascular health improves, your resting heart rate should actually start to lower. And the reason behind that is your heart is stronger, so it doesn't need to try to beat as many times with this smaller beat to pump blood. You're getting better blood volume, which means the heart can pump more through with each pump, and it starts to slow down the heart rate, which is good. Now, that being said, really low heart rates can sometimes be problematic. So definitely pay attention to things like that as we go through. We can talk more about that in detail. That's just a generic, general statement. All right. So we're going to stretch now. If you need something to balance on, you can be near a wall or a chair. We're going to bring one leg forward, toe up, sit the hips back. And then as you're here, try to lift through the chest. So you're not rounding and sinking, but you're pressing and lifting that chest, lifting the tail. You should feel this down the back of this back leg here. And then just let that toe come down and up a few times, like you're pushing on a gas pedal in a car. All right. Step that one up and in. Other one's going to go forward. Hips go back. I rest my hand on the thigh of that bent knee. And again, try not to overly round here like this. Try to lift. And if you need to get there, you need to be up a little higher. That's totally okay. If the hamstrings are tight, it's going to want to pull the pelvis in this position. So if your pelvis naturally does that, it probably means the hamstrings are a little tight. Do that little gas pump just to get the calves. And bring it up. So definitely hold on to something to balance here if you need. We're going to grab our ankle and then try to bring that knee close together. Ultimately trying to pull that heel towards the bone. Slowing my breath down. I've got a good sweat going on. How are all of you? Thanks for joining me again in my nerd gymnasium. Other side. Really try to keep the knees together. Squeeze through the glute and back so it kind of pushes forward on this hip and allows that quad to lengthen. All right, from here, bring the feet out wide. We're gonna just take a side reach. This arm can just rest on your hip as you reach over, creating length down one side of the body. And then bring it up. Other side, again, you can rest on that hip, shoot the other arm out, just nice and long. And bring it up, turn the toes out, squat down, and then just take a little side to side shift. And you can use your hands here to open those thighs. If your hips get deep enough, you can also bring your elbows down. And bring it back up. All right, so that was a quick cool down. Definitely get some more stretches in. If you have any questions about this part of my body, it's been bugging me, how can I stretch this better? Let me know, I'm happy to show you. But that's all I got for you today. Drink some water, eat a little snack, get some energy back in that body. You just went through your glycogen stores, no doubt. And I will see you Next workout is gonna be yoga. So I'm coming back over here so I can get that recording stopped. All right, and with that,